You ever find yourself lying next to someone and still feeling alone? It's a kind of loneliness that doesn't come from the absence of people, but from the absence of connection. Real connection. Not sex, not routine, not a conversation about bills or what to eat for dinner, but that raw, terrifying feeling of being seen. Most men don't know this, but they're not searching for love. They're searching for redemption. For a woman who will look at all their flaws, their shame, their failures, and say, "I see you, and I'm staying." But here's the truth no one ever told you. You can't be loved deeply when you're hiding. And you are hiding, aren't you? Behind achievements, behind charm, behind being the good guy. And yet, no matter what you do, the pattern keeps repeating. The more you give, the less you feel chosen. The more loyal you are, the colder she becomes. You tell yourself it's just bad luck, that women don't want nice guys anymore. But deep down, something feels wrong. And not with her, with you. Because love, real love, doesn't die when it's met with stability. It dies when it's built on performance. When you become someone you're not, just to feel wanted. Plato said, "We can easily forgive a child afraid of the dark. The real tragedy is men afraid of the light." And this is what he meant. We forgive the boy who's afraid to face the world. But what about the man who refuses to face himself? Most men are terrified of the light, of clarity, of truth, of what they'll see in the mirror if they stop running long enough to look. So they fall in love with illusions. Not women, illusions. The illusion that someone else can fix the ache they've buried for years. The illusion that if they just do everything right, they'll finally be loved the way they dreamed. But desire doesn't work that way. Desire is not a reward. It's not a solution. It's a mirror. It reflects everything you are. Your hunger, your fear, your wounds. And when you don't know yourself, when you're still haunted by parts of you that you've never dared to feel, desire becomes distorted. You don't love from wholeness. You love from need. You crave women who make you feel alive, not because they're right for you, but because you've been emotionally dead inside for years. You don't desire peace. You desire intensity. You chase women who reject you because the pain feels familiar. You confuse distance with depth. You believe the more unpredictable she is, the more real it must be. But that's not love. That's reenactment. That's you turning your childhood wounds into adult relationships. And then you wonder why it always ends in silence. Why she pulls away. Why she says, "You're a good man," but something's missing. And it shatters you. Because you tried. You gave your best. You were loyal, kind, attentive. But you were never yourself. You were who you thought she wanted. And she felt it. She couldn't trust it. Because even when she looked in your eyes, she saw someone lost. And maybe that's the hardest truth to face. That you weren't rejected for being too soft or too available, but because you were disconnected from your own center. From the part of you that knows what you need, what you believe, and what you stand for when no one is watching. A woman can sense it instantly. She doesn't leave because you're kind. She leaves because she can't feel you. You wanted her to choose you, but how could she choose a man who doesn't choose himself? This is what most men don't understand about desire. It's not about being wanted. It's about being real, grounded, alive in your own body, present in your own soul. But to get there, you'd have to do something terrifying. You'd have to stop trying to be good and start being true. Most men are addicted to goodness. They want to be seen as reliable, responsible, safe. But goodness without depth is empty. It's just a mask. It's what you wear when you're afraid your real self won't be enough. So you overcompensate. You plan every date, say all the right things, listen patiently. But it's not devotion. It's fear. Fear of abandonment. Fear of failure. Fear of being exposed. Because deep inside, you still carry the voice that told you you're only lovable when you're perfect. That if you show your anger, your confusion, your uncertainty, you'll be left. So you hide it. And in doing so, you bury the very parts of you that would make someone truly fall in love. Because no one can love a mask. Not for long. And here's the brutal paradox. The more you hide your shadow, the more your love stories fall apart. Not because you're broken, but because love cannot survive without truth. What does this mean for you? It means the answer isn't becoming more desirable. It's becoming more honest. To stop chasing the women who trigger your insecurity and start understanding why they do. To stop asking, why doesn't she love me? And start asking, what am I looking for in her that I haven't given myself? It means realizing that the version of you who keeps getting hurt is not the one who should be choosing love. Because most men fall in love from a place of scarcity, from hunger, from a silent desperation to be filled. And that hunger is so loud, it drowns out discernment. It blinds you. It turns red flags into fantasies. That's why you confuse pain with passion. Why you feel more alive with women who are unavailable. Why stability feels boring and chaos feels romantic. Because when your soul is starved, even poison can taste like nourishment. But love isn't meant to complete you. It's meant to mirror you. And if your mirror is cracked, if you refuse to look into your own soul, you will keep meeting the same heartbreak in a different body. Do you feel that too? That gnawing feeling that every love you've had was pointing to something deeper? That maybe, just maybe, this isn't about her at all? Tell me in the comments. Tell yourself. Because that's the beginning of healing. To name what you've never said out loud. To feel what you've spent years avoiding. And no, it won't fix everything overnight. But it will begin to shift something vital, something ancient, something real. Because love isn't found, it's uncovered, beneath the rubble of everything you built to survive. Most men don't realize they're not afraid of being unloved. They're afraid of being seen. Because if she truly saw you, the guilt, the emptiness, the jealousy, the rage, the boy who still cries inside, what if she walked away? So you craft a version of yourself. One who's polite, composed, agreeable. One who knows how to listen, how to please, how to anticipate every emotional shift. You become a master of adaptation. And then you wonder why your love feels hollow. Why, even when she stays, you feel unseen, unfelt, unknown. But how can she see you when you never showed her anything real? This is where love becomes a tragedy. Not because people are cruel, but because most of us never learned how to be known. We learned to be wanted, to be useful, to be needed, but not to be ourselves. We were taught to chase admiration instead of intimacy, to measure love in validation, not vulnerability. So we built armor. We made ourselves desirable at the cost of being authentic. And then we wonder why we attract people who love our surface but never reach our soul. Here's what no one tells you. You can't fake resonance. You can't perform your way into being felt. Love, the kind that moves mountains, that breaks generational curses, that heals what your mother and father never could. That kind of love demands your essence. And essence isn't polished. It's not curated. It's raw. It's tender. It's full of contradictions. To show it means risking rejection, but not showing it guarantees emptiness. This is why desire feels so unstable in modern relationships. Because it was never meant to be chased. It was meant to reveal. What you crave in a woman is what you've exiled in yourself. Her fire, her depth, her emotional chaos. You're drawn to it because you're numb. Because you've locked your own emotional world behind a steel door and called it strength. But emotional repression isn't masculinity. It's fear wearing a crown. And she feels it. She senses when your eyes don't match your words. When your smile masks a scream. When your calm isn't grounded, it's detached. She may not articulate it. She may not know why she's pulling away, but she knows the difference between a man who is whole and a man who is hiding. And here's where everything shifts. Because the moment you stop hiding, not through confession, but through presence, she will either meet you in that depth or fall away from the illusion. Both are gifts. Because the goal was never to be chosen. It was to become so true, so anchored, so deeply in touch with your own soul, that no matter who comes or goes, you remain. This is the light Plato was talking about. Not just awareness, courage. The courage to sit with your own chaos, to stop outsourcing your worth to how a woman responds to you, to realize that the love you've been chasing was always a reflection of the love you withheld from yourself. And maybe that's what love truly is. Not a destination, not a promise, but a mirror held up to your soul, showing you everything you are and everything you're still afraid to be. Most men spend their lives begging someone to look into that mirror for them, to tell them they're enough, to say, "I see your darkness, and I still choose you." But that choice, that sacred recognition, must begin with you. You must be the one who walks into your own inner room, turns on the light, and says to every abandoned part of you, "I see you now. I'm not running anymore." Because until you do that, you will love as a ghost, present in body, absent in soul. You will give everything except yourself, and she'll feel it. And one day she'll leave, not because she didn't care, but because you never truly arrived. So what does it mean to love rightly? It means to stop chasing approval, to stop molding yourself into the shape of her desire, to stop treating love like a transaction, where your devotion earns you affection. It means learning to sit in silence with yourself and feel the ache, the fear, the wild, unmet longings without trying to numb them. It means letting go of the story that you are too much or not enough. It means becoming a man not through dominance, not through conquest, but through clarity. You cannot attract what you are not yet willing to embody. You cannot keep what you have not made peace with inside yourself. Because love will keep testing you. It will come in the form of the unavailable woman, the manipulative woman, the one who gives just enough to keep you chasing. And each time it's not just about her. It's about whether you'll abandon yourself again just to feel wanted. This is your threshold. You can keep performing. Keep hoping that if you're good enough, someone will rescue you from your emptiness. Or you can step into the light. Not perfection, not power, presence, where nothing is hidden, where love isn't something you win, but something that rises to meet the truth you no longer run from. You are not unlovable. You are just unknown, even to yourself. But the light you're afraid of, that's the beginning of your freedom. And maybe for the first time, you won't need her to stay to know you're whole. Maybe that's the kind of man you've been trying to become all along. If that spoke to something buried deep inside you, if you felt even a moment of truth in these words, subscribe to this channel. Not for me, but for you. Because this world is starving for honest men. Men who are done pretending. Men who are ready to look into the mirror and finally see themselves. Let's talk about what no one talks about. Tell me in the comments, what part of this hurt the most? I want to read your story. You're not alone in this anymore.